Hey, here we go.
Got it. Ooh, grand and glorious rising. Oh, grand and glorious rising, Elizabeths. This is the day that we have never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what you get to choose? You get to
Mm-hmm.
choose how you going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that an awesome prospect? Is that not a wonderful, wonderful benefit to this thing called life? That
Yes.
God saw fit to wake us up, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, wake us up in our right mind and to move forward to do his perfect will and way. Lord have mercy. This is the day.
This is the day.
This is the day. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? It's the only one you got, okay? It's the only one you got. You can't claim yesterday.
Yeah.
You can't claim tomorrow. Today,
Today
right now.
is the day.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. You can't even claim 6 o'clock this evening.
Mm-mm.
You can't even claim it.
Mm-mm.
All we can do is claim this right now moment, and I praise God for it. Oh my goodness. I have a reading for us today. Whew, I tell you, life is so amazing. No matter what it looks like, life is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so today's, I don't know who said it yesterday, that the dice, something about the dice are stacked in your favor. I can't remember what the exact words were, so I'm paraphrasing it. And so it just hit me that the dice is rolling in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I added the cards are stacked in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
All right? No matter what we're feeling like right now, the adversities, the challenges, or whatever it is, let me tell you something. God is conspiring to set up a set of circumstances for your peace, for your joy, for your success, for everything. God is setting up a set of circumstances
Mm-hmm.
that one day you'll look back and say, wow. And if you're fortunate while you're in the midst of it, you'll say, wow. So this reading is for that. God is for you. He will rejoice over you. You will rest in his love, and he will sing and be joyful about you. That joy, joy, joy. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. God is for you. Turn to the sidelines. That's God cheering your run. Look past the finish line. That's God applauding your steps. Listen for him in the bleachers shouting your name. Too tired to continue? He'll carry you. Too discouraged to fight? He's picking you up. God is for you. God is for you. Had he a calendar, your birthday would be circled, magnetized up on the refrigerator. If he drove a car, your name would be on his bumper. If there's a tree in heaven, he's carved your name in the bark.
Mm-hmm.
Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? God asks in Isaiah 49:15. Whew, what a bizarre question that is. Can your mothers imagine feeding your infant and then later asking, what was that baby's name? No. I've seen you care for your young. You stroke the hair. You touch the face. You sing the name over and over and over again. Can a mother forget? No way. But even if she could forget, I will not forget you. God pledges to never forget you. And that reading comes from Max Lucado, Everyday Grace. Grace for the moment. Just grace for the moment. Just grace for the moment.
Beautiful.
Danny, what was the reading from Isaiah? What was the?
It was from Isaiah 49:15.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
49:15. And I just, God is for us. You know, we have a built-in cheering system. You know, on the shows back in the day when they quit having the live audiences, they had canned applause.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, look at here, just imagine every time you had a success, every time you did something that you said you was going to do, every time there was a step forward and you ignite, you could hear that canned applause just stepping up, just applauding you. Well, that's what God is doing, setting up a set of circumstances for your success, minute by minute, moment by moment, all the time. Everywhere all the time. Everywhere all the time. Everywhere. Can you imagine? Just imagine everywhere all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere all the time. So what we out here thinking and doing? What? What? Bemoaning this and bemoaning what? What? So when the adversity comes, yes, thank you. When the challenge is before you, yes, thank you. When the diagnosis comes, yes, thank you. When the breakdown happens, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Because whatever it is, it's coming to you to go through it for your growth and edification. For your growth and edification.
Mm-hmm.
It may not feel good, it may not look good, but believe me, it is for your good. Yes, God is for us.
Danny, there's a saying that I am with you always, in all ways.
In all ways,
And with
yes.
you always,
Yes.
in all
All
ways.
ways. Yes. I mean, it is incomprehensible to even think. Let me say this for me, because I'm only in charge of my own mind, and half the time I ain't even in charge of that. Okay. So I just, in my thoughts, like in my morning prayers, I'm just saying, oh God, just look. Just look at the creation. Just look. And as I'm saying my prayers, the sun is coming up and oh, it's turning from dark to light. And oh, I just get excited. I get excited. Even in the midst of my heart being absolutely broken, I can still find that joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can still find it because God promised it to me. He promised it to us. And so, no matter what's happening, no matter what it looks like, or no matter what it feels like, it's growing us up. It's growing us up. So, yes. Thank you, Max Lucado. Grace for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Elizabeth, what say you?
What say you? I want to ask.
You.
I want to ask Lolly what is on her mind. I've never seen her with her mouth like that the entire time. No smile. Is it tiredness or what's happening, sister?
I'm all right. I'm just thinking. I mean, of course, a little bit of tiredness, but I'm all right. I'm here. I am here. I'm grateful. Um, these past few weeks have been uh eye-opening, mind-opening. It's been a really interesting just experience overall for me. Um, but I can tie it into a few things. So uh I can speak from my life experience and hope that, it can I guess speak to you in some way. So one thing I've been noticing in my life is that I've been juggling quite a few different things and working to find a way to have some type of balance, to get so much done. And I started realizing that I have to begin to, if I want to be successful in the things I want to be successful in, I need to start reassessing what I'm doing, and I need to let go of some things, and I need to hold on and use them as resources. I say this specifically because one issue that I was facing amongst the many that required me to do some self-reflection was um, in my house, I happen to have some neighbors. I live in a fourplex in a multifamily building. And so one of my lovely neighbors just struggles a little bit with keeping things tidy. And that began to attract little critters, like mice. And it started getting overwhelming because I'm, you know, working on my homework and doing so many different things and running here and there, even trying to sleep. And I was being bothered by mice. And so instead of completely being overwhelmed by it, I went to my sister's house, but even more than that, I looked into some interpretations for mice because I wanted to understand how it impacted my life and what the story was. What did I need to be learning in this moment, aside from the fact that you should keep an apartment clean, which is beautiful. Um, so I was looking at a lot of different explanations. There's so many different stories, and overall, I was getting a combination of um, being careful of being arrogant, and then also um, being resourceful. And there was a folk tale. I'll get back into that in a second, but there is a folk tale about the mouse and the elephant. I'm gonna read it because I thought it was interesting because well, after I read it, it gave me so many different just different explanations for it that I could just take from. But I'll read this little African fable. So the author says, I have always liked this fable, which I first heard growing up as a kid in the northeast corner of the Congo. So here it is. There was a mouse who built a nest. All know that of all the animals of the field, the mouse is the least. An elephant, a bull, full grown, with tusks, the length of a man, made his way through the grass to drink at the water hole. He saw the nest of the mouse in the grass and said to himself, that is only the nest of a mouse. What can a mouse do to me? And he stepped on the nest of the mouse. The mouse said, he is an elephant. What can I do to him? He is so big, and I am so small. And so the mouse built another nest somewhere else. But the elephant came another day from a different direction and stepped again on the nest. The mouse built a third nest, and the elephant stepped on that also. The mouse said to himself, if I would live peacefully in my nest, I must get rid of the elephant. To get rid of the elephant, I must learn the ways of the elephant. So the mouse followed the elephant. He saw the elephant pull up the grass with his trunk and put it in his mouth. He pulled down the branches from the trees and ate them also. At the water hole, the elephant sucked up the water in his trunk and put it in his mouth. He sucked up the water and blew it over himself to cool off from the hot sun. And all the time the mouse was saying, the elephant is too large. How can I come against so strong of an elephant? The elephant lay down to sleep, its stomach full with grass and water. The elephant said to himself, I am full and content. I am large and strong. Nothing can hurt me while I sleep. The mouse saw the elephant sleeping and said to himself, I am small and weak. The elephant is big and strong. I must use cunning, not strength. When the elephant slept, the mouse ran up into his trunk. The elephant tried to blow the mouse out of his trunk, but the mouse crawled up farther, scratching and tickling. The little squeaking of the mouse sounded loud inside the elephant's trunk. The elephant shrieked in anger, but the mouse stayed right there, scratching and tickling and squeaking. The elephant beat his trunk against the ground, but the mouse stayed right there, scratching and tickling and squeaking. The elephant got up and started running among the trees, bellowing, waving his trunk, beating his trunk against the trees. The mouse just kept scratching, tickling, and squeaking. Whenever the elephant would try to eat, the mouse would scratch and tickle and squeak. When he tried to drink, the mouse would scratch and tickle and squeak, and the elephant would have to wave his trunk or beat it against the trees until finally it became so sore and bleeding that he could not use his trunk to feed himself or water himself. So the elephant lay down again, bleeding from beating his trunk against the trees, tired from running from tree to tree, hungry from not being able to feed, thirsty from not being able to drink, and the mouse ran out of the trunk. The elephant died, and the mouse built a nest. Tell me now, which is stronger, the dead elephant or the live mouse? There is no strength in death, and to be cunning is to be wise. A fable from the Northeast Congo. So from that, it made me just think about, not that we should be killing elephants, but that we have to reassess our situation. So many times everything feels bigger than us. All our goals, our aspirations, even our purpose, oftentimes it can feel bigger than us. And we're like, how can we even tackle all of these things? Like, what can we even do? There's no way I can accomplish all of these things. And you have to take a moment and realize that you do have a strength. You have a strength that's stronger than the elephant. But let's be resourceful. Let's think about what makes the most sense for us to actually accomplish these goals. What makes the most sense for us to actually accomplish this purpose? What can we do to work smarter and not harder? Because we can continue just doing the same thing over and over again, building our little nest, getting it torn down. Building our little nest, getting it torn down. And just saying, woe is me. I'm not big enough to fix this. I'm not big enough to play a part in the success story of my life. I'm not big enough to walk in the purpose of my life. Or we could say, you know what? Let's think. Let's watch. Let's watch what this elephant looks like. Let's take a moment and think about, how can I strategically figure out what I need to do next to make sure that I have a successful nest so that I can birth my little eggs of joy, of success, of whatever it is that I'm doing in my life. You name it for yourself. And so I've been thinking about that this week, because there's been a few times where I was working with one company, and they're like, well, we're not, we don't really see they didn't really see, they know I was valuable, but they didn't really see what my value was. And because I wasn't showing it in the way that they wanted it. And I was just like, this is a little bit of a struggle, because I know that I have value. And that also reminded me that I have to remember what my purpose is, because no one is going to see your value until you see your value and you actually walk in that value. So what is your value? What is your purpose? What is the gift that you are given to use? What is your resource so that you can take over this elephant? What is it? Do you know? And so for me, I was realizing for my life is that I need to refocus on the gift that I was giving, what I was given, and helping others, receive and think about for their lives, is my music, is music in general, it's creativity, is spreading that in that way. And when I stretch myself too thin, doing too many different things that aren't within my actual purpose, that aren't aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing, it takes away from that value. And people don't see that value, which means that you feel like a little mouse that can't get over an elephant and that can't make your nest because this elephant is too big and keeps crushing it. But when you find your value, when you find your purpose and you actually walk in that, you could take that elephant down. And so I kind of want to just end that with something happened the other day. I went to a music event, Full Circle Moment. I actually wrote a song that hasn't been released. And on the song of like chill vibes on time, Dougie Fresh on the speakers. I don't know why I chose Dougie Fresh for that line, but for whatever reason, it was meant for me to say that because the other day there was an event that I went to, a music event, and he was the host. And I was able
Wow.
yeah, I took a picture with him and everything. I was able to tell him that his name was in my song, but he said something that was so important to me that also is in line with what I'm talking about. He said, make sure to keep the main thing the main thing.
Mm.
And I am not gonna let that go. So Dougie Fresh, that came to me. Spirit gave me that name 2 years ago when I wrote the song, so that this moment now I could get that message and appreciate it in that way.
Yes. Great sharing. Great
Yes.
sharing. Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted to share that with you, and you'll get your flowers. I also had to put that last thing in because Miss Robin Terry from Motown, she gave me my flowers, literally. Like when I say literally, I mean, hold on, sorry. She literally gave me this and she said to stay connected.
Oh, we.
So, with that being said, walk in your purpose, know your value. You could take over that elephant, but you have to be resourceful. And
Yeah.
I have gratitude for the mice that were in my house that helped me to learn this message. So, thank
Ah,
you.
good. Woo wee. Woo. What an excellent student and teacher at the same time. You
Yes.
know, that's good when you
Yeah.
can be your student and your teacher for yourself. Amen. Thank you.
Mm.
Yes. Yes, you are. Peppermint oil.
Yes.
You
Yes.
got it? Okay.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Wow, that was amazing.
It
Uh,
would.
I think everybody learned we could put our own lives in there, where your name was, Sheila's name was, Queen Aduni's name was, and I could see, um, yeah, I could see the mouse and I can see the elephant.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to share behind that? Okay, great, great.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So now we got that smile back because I had never seen you go like just the whole. I said, okay, it's going to break in a minute. In a second,
Mhm.
it's going to break. And you were off in thought. I don't know where you were, but that mouth was holding like,
Yeah,
you
it was looking a little strange.
know.
Mhm. It was a little different. Yeah.
Just as Danny comes on and now her aura is lifted and she's bright, where when you were going through, you could see it, but I can see now that you're walking on the other side because it is done.
Mm.
It is done, and you've had those days and weeks to adjust yourself, even though you're still going through loss and accepting loss, and embracing a new life and a new relationship with your best friend.
You know, I scared the people at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day. I had um gone in there. I saw something in the window and went in to check it out and decided to buy it. So, in looking for the checkout counter, I turned down an aisle, and the aisle had those Croc shoes. You know those, I call them the ugly shoes with the holes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, those ugly Croc shoes. I hear they're comfortable, but well, that was Pearl's shoe of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And she had all of the charms in the shoes with, baby, I lost it right there in the aisle of Dick's Sporting Goods, right?
Yeah.
Jack I'm walking through the store and I'm scaring the people. Ma'am, are you okay? I'm taking out my credit card, I'm buying, and the poor little young lady at the counter, she just didn't know what to do. So I got everything out and I said, if I could get to the air, if I could get outside,
Mhm. Mhm.
then I will be okay. So I had the presence of calling her daughter. And so I'm, she said, Ma, she said, I know. She said, but she's just talking to us. She's just talking to us. And I said, yeah, yeah. I wasn't trying to have a conversation at that time, but yeah, I guess she is talking, talking to us. And what I recognize is that I have to allow myself, and we, all of us, whatever we're going, allow ourselves the freedom to have our experiences in the moment that they are occurring. I could have tried to suck it up. I could have put the stuff back down and left the store. I could, you know what I'm saying? I could have did all of that, but baby, I went all the way down through there. Okay.
Okay.
So I just, and I acknowledge myself for that, because it's not going to be the last time.
Mhm.
And the other thing was, and I think it was a culmination of the fact that one of my friends that was encouraging me through the death of Pearl had a massive stroke and he died. That's the
Oh.
I have to go to today. So I was like, okay, God, I know that there is a reason, and I know that when people pass, their souls make a choice. Their
Right.
souls make a choice to keep their appointment,
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah.
appointed time. We know that. Well, let me say, I know this. Let me speak for myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
But people make choices for their souls. And so, if we could respect that, we could allow people to leave and go rather than trying to hold them here no matter what. I just want my mama attached to the long as she breathing, but she's not breathing. She's got the detachment and the da 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 da.
Yeah.
But as long as we can detach ourselves, because they are only going to meet their appointment. They're going to make their appointment. Does it hurt? Yeah. Hell yeah, it hurts. You know, is it something that you don't want to go through? Yeah, we don't want to go through that. No, 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 no. Nobody does, but
Mhm.
it's inevitable. And so in death, there are lessons. In life, there are lessons. The
Yeah.
lessons, little mouse, you know, and the lessons in the croc shoes with the little charms on them. There are lessons for us,
Yeah.
and they're all around us.
Yeah.
And so if we could just learn the art of detachment,
That's true.
the art of detachment, the 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 space or the time when you can sigh and say, it's okay.
Yes, yes. And I would say that it would be it's wonderful to actually learn a new attachment, because I was here cleaning up in my room in my office, and I came across 3 obituaries of people I love dearly. And I'm saying I'm still attached to them in a different way. I
Yes.
don't see them anymore like I used to, but they're in my heart. I'm just loving looking at them, and thinking about them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The thought that there was never a time when we weren't and that we will be. This is a
Yeah.
forever continuum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if it's true for us, it's true for them. They just changed form.
Yeah.
And so we can communicate with them. I don't know if I mentioned this book. I think I did, Hiring the Heavens by Jean Slater. And it's about taking our angels that have chosen to ascend and putting them on assignment, giving them something to do that will, in other words, Lolly, another resource, okay? Another resource for us to use for this journey. you know? And so none of us came here to stay. None of us. We were born dying. None of us, the moment we got slapped, if you were slapped or slid in some water, whatever, the moment you got here, you were in the dying process. Now,
Right.
the issue becomes don't die while you live.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't be dead while you're living.
Right.
Live out those dreams, live out those emotions, live out those desires, live out your passions,
Mhm.
live them. Don't be dead while you're here. Now, they said, Paul says, I die daily.
Right.
There are some things that need to die while you're living.
That's true.
Doubt, misconceptions, misthoughts,
Mhm.
okay? Feeling less than, unworthiness. Those things need to die.
True.
Those things need to die so that you can live.
Mhm.
So yeah, the angels are there. The angels, the guides and the guardians are there to support us in when I said that God is setting up a set of circumstances for our success, well, they're in the mix too. Call on them. All right? Call on them. Put them on assignment. Give them something to do,
Right.
you know, and they're waiting. We have not because we ask not. We're not even asking our angels to help us. You know what? I need some help to figure out how to work this app on my telephone. Look at here. If you need an iPhone angel, baby, get you one.
Mhm.
Get you one.
Yes.
I got a parking angel, and she is true to me every time I say, come on, Jamia, we need us a parking space. Jamia is so dedicated and true to me. People can't believe it when they're in the car to me. They say, I don't even believe that. I say, you don't have to believe it. I believe it.
Right.
So you don't have to. I do.
Right. It doesn't
He
require
is
your belief.
he is so diligent to me that they started using her as their parking space.
Oh goodness.
Okay. So we have not because we ask not. And the angels are ready and willing to do our bidding. All right. Give them something to do.
Mhm. You know,
Yeah.
Danny, when in some ways the their passing or going on to their next assignment brings up, like for me, my mother used to always tell me when I open a can, just
Mhm.
little simple things. Open a can, pour out the stuff, and then she would, because I could see her looking down at me and saying, rinse the can out,
Exactly. Yep.
rinse
Yep.
the
Before
can out, and rinse the top. Oh no, the first thing she would say,
white
rinse
off.
wash the
Rinse it before you open it.
Right.
Right. Uh-huh.
if it dips it down in there, none of the germs will go. So first
Right.
that, and it used to irritate me because like I know, and then so now that is a special thing that every day that I'm dealing with, especially still having to puree my food, right?
Right.
Okay, mama. Okay, mama.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Hey, mom. Hey, mom.
Yes.
I mean, every time
Yes.
there's a cabinet open, and I don't know why this was such a big thing when it happened, but it's Uncle Albie. Okay, Uncle Albie, I go close the cabinet. Okay,
Yeah.
Albie. Okay,
Right.
Uncle Albie. So there's that thing that may have irritated you in some way, because
Mm,
I know,
I know.
that thing becomes that joy that reminds
Yes.
you of them.
Yeah.
When I deal with my teeth, I had to take Aunt Edie's when she was on her last days, and she's in the bed, and she said, take my teeth out. I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm in there, and they're not coming. And I'm in there, and she said, I said, is it hurting? Is it hurting not eating? And she's like, just take them out.
That was my dad yesterday. He said, get the teeth. And I'm like, but
Just take them out. So this is Aunt Edie right here.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
So those shoes will always be, next time you see those shoes on a person, you're going to think about that fall apart at the store,
Yes.
be able
Right.
to laugh at her. You're really a character,
Yes.
them doggone shoes. So it's
Oh, yes.
life
Yes.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
And and it's nothing to fear or be afraid of, or it just is. If we the magnificence and the enormity of God, that she would have created just people we could see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Just people we could see. Well, heck, who did y'all think Moses was talking to? Well, now, and people say, "Oh, I, the Bible, that's my book, that's my joint, da 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 da." Oh, but I don't believe in my. Who did y'all think they was talking to?
Right.
Really?
Mm.
Who did y'all think Adam and Eve was talking to? What?
come on, Danny, preach,
y'all.
preach.
Come on. So God made it so that we got help coming from everywhere.
Everywhere.
From the rooter to the
Everywhere.
tutor.
From the rooter to the tutor, baby.
Right. That's right.
From
Yeah.
what? Conspiring. I mean, can you just see, just conspiring up in here to set it up so that you can succeed and you
Yeah.
can fail and you can, girl, please. Everywhere. What did you say, Queen? Always and in all ways.
In always.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So are you listening?
Mhm.
Are we listening? Okay. And there is no chorus, and there is no loudness that can drown out the voice of God. It don't even exist.
Mm.
You have to listen.
Right.
You have to listen. And I asked God, I said, God, I've got one thought with two focuses. One thought, that's you, to be in your presence and the hope of heaven. All right? Be in your presence and the hope of heaven. And not so much the hope of heaven where I'm going up to. I'm talking about the hope of heaven right here on earth as well.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay? Because heaven and hell is real to you if you believe it.
Mhm.
So I just choose to believe in the state of heaven.
Right here on
Right here on earth, right here, right now. Let me tell you something. Ooh, there ain't nothing like a hot chicken wing that comes right out of the grease. And I look at here for y'all who are vegetarians, vegans, and all that. I respect all of that. But baby, for me,
It's a cauliflower wing. It's okay. I'm imagining it.
okay, there ain't nothing
Mm,
like
mm.
a hot chicken wing, and then they start sprinkling that lemon pepper on them chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
Lord have mercy. It is a slice of heaven.
I'm in heaven.
I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Okay, baby, I'm telling you, I can have heaven right here and right now. Come on, mama. Come on, mama hat.
Oh my gosh. Danny, you all up in my mama space today. I wanted to just say, when my mother's first visit to me, and she messed me up. Her first visit to me was in the bathroom at work. her first spiritual visit was with me in the bathroom at work. Then she sent a lady that looked like her, walked like her, and her keys jingled like her.
Ooh-wee.
Then I wanted to share that when I was writing today, I wrote down that our mere mortal self cannot even handle this life without spirit.
No, cannot.
And the last one was, my mother used to ask me, why, when you eat a piece of chicken, why are all your fingers greasy? I wish I knew to tell her, because you made it. You made it good. All my fingers want to experience
All
this
my
chicken.
fingers.
And her favorite meal was rice and chicken.
Chicken, baby. I'm telling you, heaven right here and right now.
Here's my
Hey,
heaven.
thing.
Here's my heaven right here, right here.
Yeah.
And we're matching.
Yeah, but look at that. That's
Yeah.
right. We can see the heaven in the faces that we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, when the sound of a baby laughing uncontrollably.
Mhm.
Ooh-wee.
That
Yeah.
sound right there just
Oh,
sends
yes.
me,
Yes.
woo, honey.
I was
Okay.
doing this this morning, you know. Why was I doing that? But then I thought about my grandson. I see you, baby.
Yes.
I thought about my grandson.
Bye, boo.
He goes like this, and he just be
Yeah, so excited. I just love it. That's heaven.
Yes.
Recognize heaven when you seeing it, when you looking at it. Recognize it.
It's a song I made
Uh-huh.
with somebody before, and it was like the chorus part is, everybody wants a piece of heaven, searching for a high life condition on earth. We pass the clouds, we float above our problems and celebrate the exodus of hurt. Lately I've had a revelation. There's only one direction, that's up. Oh, it's just a beautiful sensation when we find our heaven on earth. We gotta find our heaven on earth.
That's
Right.
my background. That's my background.
There you go.
Oh, Lolly, is that recorded?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. What's the title of the song?
Heaven on earth.
Oh,
Is it on
come on.
YouTube?
Okay, Mama had that. We got it, baby. We got the background music now. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. We got the shoes to walk in. Scroll up on your chat. Scroll
Mama
up
had
on your
them
chat and
shoes
see them
took me
heel
out.
Crocs.
We got the
And
shoes, baby.
rinse the can out when you
And that's
open
right.
it.
Rinse
Okay?
the can out on your
Listen,
way by the
that
sink.
is my daddy all day. When these people started doing it for the CBD, I was like, I wash my stuff. My daddy said he would not hit us, but you don't wash a can and see what happens. When I go to I don't care where I go, the bar, the club, wherever.
That's right.
Rinse
That's right.
my cane.
Yes.
Mhm.
The wisdom that is transferred from generation to generation. See, we think we're doing something new. We ain't doing nothing new.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You know, this has been passed down, you know, so that we can take that in and use that resource, if you will, Lolly, so that this experience of ours don't have to be this hard. You know what, we claiming her, oh, it's so difficult. Quit claiming that. Quit saying that. Oh, it's so hard. I can't. No, because anything after you claim it, that's what the experience is that you're going to have. So I don't claim hard. I don't claim difficult. I do say, you know what? This is challenging, but I got tools to get through it.
Mhm.
And the other day I preached, you know, you're going through some, I don't know who authored it, but if you're going through hell, keep on going, okay? Just keep on going.
Keep going.
Keep moving, all right? And then I added, well, if I got to go through it, let me go get me a new hat. Let me go get me a step and tie hat and put my step and tie hat on. Better yet, let me get me some new cute shoes so I can go through it, stepping up in style. Come on now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let
Mhm.
me find a new road to walk down.
Let me rather, yeah, a whole new road. How about we do that? We keep going down the same road over and over and over again, and then getting the same experiences and expecting a different result. They say that's called insanity, okay? No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Use the wisdom that's been passed on from generation to generation. Listen to the voice of the guides, of the guardian, the guides and the angels and the God. Let me tell you something, and the avatars, baby, they wait, they sitting up there talking about, okay, yeah, there you go. Right there. That is beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that's
He's
is
my
that
archangel.
Michael? Yeah, that's Michael. Let me
Yeah,
tell you something.
he's mine.
He's yours.
We're partners.
Okay. You know what? That we were talking about the goddesses, the angels, the whatever it is, what embody. If you need something, embody it.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, we have so much and then sitting in lack. It's a possibility that we should be sitting on a throne, crying and bemoaning. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. So it's a choice. And if you hear the voice, sometimes and oftentimes it's going to sound like you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be your mama's voice, head. It's not going to be your mama's. It's going to be your voice. Okay? So, I mean, we have to position and align ourselves up to vibrate on a level where we can hear spirit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Oh, no, go back. You forgot something. Oh, let me turn around or whatever. It's always speaking. Always, always, always. God is always speaking. Always speaking. Always. Did I say God was always speaking? God is always speaking.
And in all ways.
And in all ways. Every
I was,
situation, every circumstance,
yes,
everything.
yes. I was reading, my favorite conversation with God, and in the one that is communion with God, and God says, I speak to you with the wind that blows across your face.
Yes.
That's me. I'm talking
to you.
I'm talking to you. The dog that comes up and lays his head or puts his paw.
Yes.
That I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you in all
ways.
That I'm always talking to you in all ways. Even if it doesn't look like you're about to come upon something that is danger. And I think God's going to only say those wonderful, wonderful things, but you're about to do something and stop.
You'll get that feeling. You'll be like, wow, what was that? What was that? Listen. Yeah. I want to share something real quick and I got to go. My grandbaby, Halima, she was in the car seat in the back and we were driving to Savior's Day in Chicago this year. So I'm driving and I got my music going on and oh man, I'm going down through there. Hey, I'm singing and one thing and another. And all of a sudden, this cup comes whizzing by my head. That's it. She said, Fifi, I've been calling you. She's been sitting in the back seat calling my name and I didn't hear her. Baby, she sent that cup. It's not in my own world, okay? So God will send you something. It might be a cup.
Going past your head.
Going past your head. I'm calling you. I'm calling you. Are you listening? Are you listening?
That sounds like Star when she got her headphones on. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, Pam, Pam, Pam. And I open the door and she got her headphones on. She's all in her world. And I look for something to throw at.
I know.
I said, what if I'm in trouble? You know, and then
I know.
all I can say is then the Holy Spirit would
The Holy Spirit
make
will
sure
provide everything you need.
right, that he'll touch her or whatever.
Oh, God. Well, Elizabeth, I have to run. Please hold the family of Sidney Hyde Jr. in your prayers. He was an absolutely glorious soul. And we're going to go celebrate his life. So yes, just hold space, as you all always do. Y'all some space holding sisters, okay? For sure. For sure. So I love you and I honor you and I thank you and I'll see you later.
Love you, honey.
All right.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Lolly,
Yes.
what's up? So you got something or I got something to share as well?
Well, truthfully, that was the most that I had earlier.
Mhm.
However, if you would like, I do have a little video that I made with my music babies that I would love to share with
Oh,
y'all.
absolutely. Let me give you the power.
Yeah, give me the power.
I got the power.
That is exactly what went through my head. That was the second thing that went through my head.
Mhm.
But I've been, you know, I talked earlier about making sure that, you know, I'm walking in my value,
Mhm.
creating value. I know in the particular form of Buddhism I practice, they always talk about value creation,
Mhm.
living in a value creation society. And that's really, you know, important as we walk in our purpose, because our purpose includes us. We're main characters in our story, but there are so many other characters that we learn from and that learn from us in this movement. And so my little babies, what they're not babies, but I'm gonna call them my babies. My little babies, they are so impressionable, and I really like to go above and beyond just to show them what they can do, because it's so important for them to know that they are capable. And so we worked on this song. It's not Black History Month, but it's Black History Year right now. So I just wanted to to share that with y'all. We made this song called I Had a Dream, and I got a couple of the programs in our youth center involved so that we could make a little video, and I edited it. And this is so this is so big to me because this is like my latest release, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't have to be on my personal platform for me to feel like this is a big thing. And I feel like it should go viral. But notes for notes. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share it with you. Share screen. I had a dream. Okay. So excited. So excited. Okay. And this is the original.
Marching,
We're good.
protesting, and posting about the Michael Brown Jr.'s and the Tatiana Jeffersons of the world. Tell your friends to pull up.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Working hard to accomplish dreams. Have better thoughts that you lead in better things, like to be free. Cause being black is not just a skin color, not what you are, but who you are. Being strong, being smart, being independent. Being people who can conquer anything. I had a dream.
I had a dream that we could all be free. Won't think less of them. Who have more melody, we could all be friends. It's our responsibility to share the dream so we can be free.
Growing up black, I was so confused. Why couldn't I wear hoodies or walk in their shoes? Why couldn't I have the same classes, but in my school? Or must I drive so far for opportunities that's still subpar? We ask these questions cause it just don't make sense. We want equality, can you guys not take that hit? Let's change our old ways, let's give it a rinse. Cleanse this world from racism, the most heinous sin.
I had a dream that we could all be free. Won't think less of them who have more melanin. We could all be friends. It's our responsibility to share the dream so we can be free. I just want fairness amongst us all. Black, white, Asian, Latin, etc. We just know that we're stronger together. We can all be free and live in harmony. All black people want the same thing, for the world to be at peace. That we could all be free, won't think less of them who have more melanin. We could all be friends. It's our responsibility to share the dream so we can be free. I had a dream that we could all be free, won't think less of them who have more melanin. We could all be friends. It's our responsibility to share the dream so we can be free.
Cause being black is not just a skin color, not what you are, but who you are. Being strong, being smart, being independent, being people who can conquer anything. I had a dream.
I had a dream that we could all be free, won't think less of them who have more melanin. We could all be friends. It's our responsibility to share the dream so we can be free.
Yes.
Wow, Lolly, that was
awesome.
just absolutely beautiful. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh my God. This is the work that you're doing. This is wonderful.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
praise you. Oh my God. That's I don't usually come in and say much, but I had to say something about that.
All right.
Thank you.
Beautiful. My God.
Yes.
Keep the
And I
work
was spirit
going.
filled.
Oh my God.
I was,
Yes.
I had to get up. I was like, you can't sit down. I'm gonna get up.
Yeah, I see you, Mama Hat. I am so proud of you and the work that you do. It's just beautiful.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Wow.
I know I'm gonna be traveling a little bit later, so I'm gonna pass on my role to someone else who I know is powerful in the community later this year. But I told them, I'm like, while I'm here, we're gonna go in. We're gonna do as much as y'all want to do. I can't make y'all do more than what you want to do, but I want to make sure y'all, like, y'all have full support. So we got an open mic today that we're doing, and I want them to perform for a couple Juneteenth events, and it's a few things happening, but I want them to know they got it.
Wow.
Well, I was thinking right then, AGT, America's Got Talent. So that needs to be another one, showing up from Detroit. Yes.
right now.
yes. And that song, that is, that.
Did you write that, or where'd the song come from?
So I worked with them. So basically what we do every day is we write, record, all of that. So we spent a few weeks writing. So the beginning part was a poem. We wrote together, and I'm just there to support or help them kind of formulate their words a little bit better, reorganize, restructure, give ideas. So we worked on all the writing all together.
Wow.
Put that out. So yeah.
So where does your education around this music and writing, did you go to school for it? Is it, well, we know that it's natural, but you know, did you go to school and or work in programs? How did it come about?
Well, it started my love for music, I think, is just innate. Because I was singing and crooning and playing music and doing whatever I could ever since I was a little bit. I think I'm not really a musician, instrumentalist, but my favorite and first instrument was a little xylophone that I got. I can't remember if my uncle or my grandfather gave it to me. I gotta ask my mom. But yeah, so it started with that. But I sang growing up. So I was in school. I remember my first performances in like pre-K with the choir, and I loved it. So I was singing ever since then in choirs in school, outside of school, extracurriculars, just however much I could, and that however much my mom could take me, because she does have 6 kids. So that was that. It was some classical training and other things growing up as well. And then in college, I took advantage of singing in choirs and stuff. So I was at Howard and I did a little bit of gospel choir there, a little bit. And then also at Michigan State. But then after that, when I went to New Orleans, I started actually working with youth specifically in music. And I had my first opportunity to do that at a youth center down there in the hood, which I typically find myself in a youth center in the hood all the time. So I just did that, and I started growing with them there and working with them. And at that time, I mean, I'm still very much so growing, but at that time I was very new to creating with the youth in that way, and hoping to record and stuff like that. But I started there, and then I just kind of kept that up. And then eventually, I was volunteering with an organization that no longer is in New Orleans, but exists in Detroit, and that's where I work now. So kind of happened like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For real.
It only has to start with a mustard seed, and they're very tiny.
Mhm.
They're very
You know.
tiny.
Mama, I mean, that was a little bit too much, Omani. I'm like, whoa. I remember when Mama Ayaba, I didn't see it, but and yeah, it was Mama Het and what was her name? At Peace were like, turn her, you know, because I can't turn you, I can mute you, but I can't turn the thing off. And
Can't mute the camera?
She came right to the thing, and the boobs was just hanging down or something.
They wasn't hanging, they was sitting. Them suckers was
Sitting
sitting
upright.
up. I was like, damn, Mama Yaba's body is awesome. I was like, wow.
Oh my goodness. I said, ooh, okay.
My brother called that the
Wow. That's funny. Well, we're very proud of you, Lottie. You know, you're our baby, and so we're
That's funny. That's way too much. Okay,
yeah, that was
way
too much. That was too much.
It's way too much.
But it was beautiful. It was so natural and beautiful.
no limit is off top. No topic is off limits. Here's to the body of divine feminine. Cheers,
Really?
cheers, and cheers.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
You know, and it's so funny because I felt myself. I'm like, oh, my picture ain't on there, and I just kept on going. It's like, oh yeah, it is. Oh Lord.
I did it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the bathroom. Camera on, close it.
Right. Yeah, my goodness
Oh
gracious.
God. Oh God. It's too much. We got too much. We got too much going on. Too much.
Yeah, we had another boo boo, a boobs show.
It's taking a breath. Give thanks for the day.
Yeah, just breathe in, take a moment, and breathe. Oh, how you doing, Evelyn? What you chewing on, girl?
My grapefruit, my pink grapefruit for the morning.
Very good.
Oh, I love grapefruit. I love it.
All right, so we're gonna go into a little bit of where it's good for all of us, but this is my focus right now, and I'm going to read from a book called The Science of Getting Rich. I don't know if you've ever heard this, seen this.
No.
Walter Waddles.
First time. Yeah. The science.
Walter Waddles.
Yes.
Okay.
Wallace D. Waddles. And so I want to share some things and jump in whenever you want to. I'm going to start with the chapter 1, and it says, whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. And I know there's a lot of conversation about that, and so-and-so was poor, and my daddy was this. We're not talking about all the love. We're not talking about that. When I read this, and I'm going to keep on going here first, and then I'll make a comment. No man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, he must have many things to use. And he cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. When I first read that, I said, oh my God, just think of what we would have missed had Michael Jackson not had money to do what he did. How much are we missing? How much are people missing because we don't have the resource of the money? And we can exchange resource and money, but really, this is really talking about rich. How much more can Lolly do with those children if she was rich? Right? How much more could I do if I was rich and I had someone controlling all the things that need to be controlled to do the marketing, to do all the things that we need to pay people to do in order for what we have to be out there so other people will know that we exist. It takes resources, and it all breaks down to money, okay? A man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use of things. And society is so organized that man must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich. That's what this book is. The object of all life is development, and everything that lives has an inalienable right to all the development it is capable of attaining. Man's right to life means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment, or in other words, his right to be rich. In this book, I shall not speak of riches in a figurative way. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every man should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less. This might hit some people. To be content with less is sinful. I'm going to let us sit and think about that one.
Well, since there ain't no sin, I just saying I made a mistake. How about that?
Yeah. We're not living up to the full potential if we are content, because somebody comes to your door. There's a man that comes to our door and he comes to get bottles. My husband likes beer, and so he comes to get the cans because he doesn't have money, right? We give him that. One time he has asked for $5, and but I can't help him except for give him, oh, well, he didn't drink as much this time. Or even the $5, just you want to be in a position to really help and fulfill your heart. Even Mother Teresa, when we want to use Mother Teresa, she was not caught up in money, but she had people who had what she needed. So when she asked for something, it was taken care of. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because there is a price tag on almost everything, tangible. You got to buy this, you got to buy that, you got to pay this, you got to pay that. Wouldn't it be wonderful if that was no thought at all? That was not, people kill themselves, or people die for, or people get pissed off, angry, families fall apart because of the lack of money. So be content with less is sinful. Now, what is abundant is different for everybody, but you know what I'm talking about, what we're talking about here. To be happy. I'm happy that I have, but then somebody needs something, you cannot fulfill that. You want to be able, you need something and you can't fulfill that. You see something, like I see Lolly and I'm like, wow, I would love to be able to just like, girl, go do your thing. Here, write a check and go do your thing. With those children, help those children. Those children have issues from home that she, and I'm assuming this, cannot write a check and say, here, baby, go home, take your mama to the store and get everything that you need. Gas is off, lights are off, no car to get to class, those types of things. So the man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich. And no man who has not plenty of money can have all he wants. Oh, wait. And no man who has not plenty of money can have all that he wants. So when I look at, there's some channels where they have people, the people who are rich, and they're flying in airplanes. In other words, they can get from here to here much quicker than I can in my car and hope that I can, I got to get the gas and stuff. It's just a whole different lifestyle. And we still have to deal with our hearts. I'm not talking about that. We have to deal with that part. But the holiness of living, having a pure heart, all of that, because money does not take the place of that. But when you can, I'm looking forward to when I can just get up, go and call them and say, hey, get my plane ready. And then I say to my girlfriend in California, I'm about to go to Paris. I'm going to stop and pick you up. And then we just go, don't worry about clothes. We'll get clothes when we get there, and then we will leave them there and to bless someone else. But to have a good heart, and we know so many people have wonderful hearts and such giving with less, with just what they have. Just imagine if they had a bank account or gold, silver, whatever, so that they can even do more, to do more. Now, where was I at? The man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich. And no man who has not plenty of money can have all that he wants. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. Every person naturally wants to become all that they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. And you can become what you want to be only by making use of things. And you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. To understand the science of getting rich is therefore the most essential of all knowledge. There's nothing wrong in wanting to be rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. And so the man who does not desire to have money enough to buy all he wants is abnormal. There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, and we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the three, body, mind, and soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind or body. It is wrong to live for the intellect and deny the body or the soul. We are all acquainted with the loathsome consequences of living for the body and denying both mind and soul. And we see that real life means the complete expression of all that man can give forth through the body, mind, and soul. Whatever he can say, no man can be really happy or satisfied unless his body is living fully in every function, and unless the same is true of his mind and his soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. So you can be rich, but your soul is tortured. The things that you're doing, the way you think, all of that. So it's all three, okay? When I look up, then no man can really be fully comfortable. Okay, man cannot live in body without good food, comfortable clothing, warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary to his physical life. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place. Cannot fill his place as a husband or a father, as a citizen or as a man. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life for his body, develops his mind, and unfolds his soul. It is therefore of supreme importance to him that he should be rich. It is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal man or woman, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, for it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect the study, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and to humanity. For you can render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. So I'm going to stop right there. Any comments? Pro, you may not agree, or pro or con. Let's have a conversation about that. Because some people don't feel like, you don't need money, yet, like I said, a person comes and their gas and stuff is off and they can't help them because they have nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Just be happy. Just love will do it all. Yet the struggle in the body is overwhelmed with working 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that that's the plan of God for us. I really don't.
No.
It was not to struggle. It was to live abundantly.
Yeah, I agree with that in so many ways. I think sometimes it's hard for us to approach abundance in that way. And I wish I wasn't so tired yesterday because I wanted to hear yesterday's conversation too, but I will watch it later. But I think it's when we hear like it's okay to kind of to want to be rich, to actually pursue that effort. Because like you mentioned, a lot of times you're like, oh, love's gonna do it. And love will prevail. But unfortunately, at this point in time, love does not pay utility bills or car notes. But it's really interesting because the first thing I really wanted to say was I'm glad that I got to experience life without being rich before it happens, just so that I could that whole you spoke of like the mind, the body, all of that part of it, and I really appreciate that I was able to spend some more time on this mental, spiritual effort of understanding abundance and understanding what I can do to impact my life and others with the money when I get it. I think that is huge. And then now that I'm not finished, but now that I've been learning so much of that to the point where I'm like, okay, now I think I'm actually ready for this abundance. I'm excited to say, okay, yes, I really do want to pursue this idea of being rich so that not only can I allow myself to be in a more I don't want to say comfortable because that's not the word I want to use, but I mean, be in abundance, take care of what I need to take care of and have access. But I also can help others, which you mentioned a lot, is being able to help others. There's people all the time that I wish I could just be like, here, just go handle it. And sometimes I do, but then that puts me in a position where I'm like, oh, yikes, it's a little tight.
Right.
But then it come right back though, Lolly. You
It
know,
does come right back though. It does. It does. And I think that's the combination of things though. I think maybe not solely thinking about just like, okay, I gotta get rich, gotta get rich, gotta get rich. But that combination of I'm pursuing abundance, I'm financial abundance, I'm pursuing this. At the same time, I'm still giving and I'm still walking and I'm still thinking and my mindset is still as if I am rich right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
but really, would a giver ever really be rich because they constantly giving? So you know, what's the bar? What is the bar for richness? And you know, it's so funny because I've been very, very thankful that I've been able to help friends. And when I look, I'm like, I don't even, you really, like, where did this come from for me to be able to, bless this child and do this here and that there? And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, I don't know. It, in words, it's, you understand it and overstand it. And then in theory or in, what do you call it? Metaphorically, like, is he really talking about rich? Like, you talking about rich? And then think about it, is he talking to everybody? Because, usually when people are speaking about certain things, they're not talking to Black folks. And we're treated how we are. I mean, 4 sentences. Yeah, what is the measure of rich? What is the measure?
Well, one of the things that what I see where he says body, mind, soul, all 3. Can't be rich with a lot of money, but you're what do you call it? What's that thing? Stooge or from
Scrooge.
You're so tight with it because you are fearful.
Yeah.
There's the soul off
Right.
balance. You're fearful that, like you said, what if you give too much? Well, one, if you don't give, you can't get. So the hand is open. If the hand is like this, nothing can go out and nothing can come in. So
and
it's
don't
like,
give just to get, because you'll get caught up. You know what I'm saying? That too, or giving begrudgingly.
What he's saying though is that there is, we just keep it right here. There's a science to it. There's a science to getting rich, not just at a happenstance, and that can happen like bam, whoa, all of a sudden, as it talks about in the Bible, and suddenly this happens, or somebody wins the lottery and stuff. But
they say they don't hold it long because they don't know. Yep, they don't know.
That science, still you have to know, you have to understand what to do with it, how to keep it, how to disperse it. When is it enough as far as not to put you back in poverty? That's what happens when you get rich all of a sudden and you don't know how to handle it. And everybody and their mama and their dog, everybody wants that money and stuff. And then in a year or 2, 5 years, you don't have any anymore. But the science of it, what to do, is what this is talking about.
Okay.
So I know I want to share in, and I agree with everything that you say, Queen Aduni, because when you get that windfall of money, your whole life changes. Everything changes. There's a show called ugh, I can't think of the name of it, but it's where the guy takes lottery winners who want to buy a new house. And they have a budget and everything. They have the idea of what their dream home is. And it's like when you do that, you're in a whole different everything, whole different bracket, whole different subdivision. You're around a whole different other people. And it's like when you get that windfall of money and you about to buy this $1 million house, you won 10 million, you about to buy this, you got to know that either A, you paying this house off in full, or that you can afford this house, 5, 10, 20, 30 years later. It just, one of the things that I realized that God is not going to give you, give you a windfall like that unless you're ready for it, and also have the knowledge, spiritual and practical knowledge around it by which to manage it. And I think I saw a post on Facebook that said the only reason why you're not a millionaire yet is because you don't know how to manage you don't know how to manage the money yet. Once you learn how to manage it, then it shows up. And I believe, to be rich is to be able not to have to worry about the bills, not have to worry about whatever's coming down the pipeline is taken care of, but also not just helping our friends and family out, but also help them out with the knowledge of how to manage what's being given to them. Yeah, I'm gonna help you get out this rut right now, but let's sit down and see what we can do to prevent this from happening again. That's the missing part. That's the missing part. Don't nobody ever sit down and be like, okay, how do we get out of this? I mean, my boyfriend sat down with me and was like, oh, this is how much you need to make this is how much you really need to be making per hour to cover these bills. We don't sit down with people like that. Like, this is what you need to be doing. So I'm like, we have to do better. We have to prepare ourselves. Everybody talks about reparations and everything like that, but who's preparing us to manage those reparations? Yeah. I think California, somebody's mentioning $5 million. Okay, if a person can't manage $5, how they gonna manage 5 million?
Mm-hmm. So I want to challenge that statement, Danielle, about that God will not, that you can't be blessed if you're not ready, because that's on you. For instance, I was at a service and I went up to do what the preacher had asked, to give a certain amount. I go up and I give. So she ministers to me. It was Bishop Coletta Vaughn. She ministers to me, and then as I walk away, she says, "Oh yes, and God said you're going to live a long life." And I was like, okay. And then when I turned around, the Spirit said, "Now how you live it is up to you." You could be walking around sick and stuff like that.
Yep.
The blessing is not with conditions.
Right.
You got to then do what you need to do. If you don't have the knowledge, then you got to go and get that knowledge on how to, what is the science of staying rich at that point? What are the things that I need to learn? How do I need to change my way of thinking? Do I now need to be like so fearful of somebody going to come and take the money that now I'm living in a whole different world. So,
well, no, I'm not saying stay fearful, but I think of MC Hammer. I think of how he got into the industry. He got these $1 million contracts. He brought everybody and their mama with him as a part of his team and everything and then a couple of years later, he broke because he didn't help everybody else, but there was a mismanagement when it came to the millions of dollars that he had. I'm not saying not what is it, to help people out. And I'm not saying that, God's not going to help you out, but you have to be prepared to know when this money comes, you know how to manage it. Like you said, that not only to stay rich, but also to keep blessing people and keep making sure that your household is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? The whole shebang. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that
the conditions you were talking
God
about
does not, that God is waiting on you to get your shit together before I'm going to bless you like that. When that
No. What I'm saying is there's going to be times where he puts you in position as you're getting yourself together to prepare for that windfall that's coming down. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying, like, for instance, the Elizabeths, we got several financial planners within our group that are educating us about budgeting, that's educating us about trust, that's educating us about stuff right now. We don't have the millions right now, but there's a preparation that's happening. If you see it and you see the knowledge for it, there's a preparation that's happening for that. I'm not saying that there's a condition to it, but there is, how can I say this? There is preparation that's happening if you are watching and pay attention. There's conditioning there's not conditioning, there's an educating that's happening right before us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got you. Anyone want to share?
About the let me come on, I'm sorry. About the MC Hammer part. There's something that I've told others and that others have told me. I've been blessed to be mentored by wealthy white men.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I realized with the whole MC Hammer thing is you can't take everybody with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not meant to go where you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not going to fly where you fly. There's a saying that I once heard, a statement that that Bishop T.D. Jakes said. You can't, giraffes eat from the top of trees. If you have a turtle that's walking up under you and the turtle is talking about what they don't like and giraffes don't bend their heads down to have conversations with turtles. Once you reach a certain point, you're now on a level with different people. And sometimes, and I know that I see you shaking your head, Mama Hat, but sometimes you can't take everybody with you because your mindset changes.
Right.
And when your mindset changes, everybody doesn't want to change their mindset.
That's true.
So a part of how MC Hammer lost his money, he took a lot of people with him whose mindset never changed.
Right, but was he thinking about that? He put together the dancers. So was he thinking about that part? And a lot of times with these industries, the people that are your financier and your the people, your label, they stealing and robbing. They're
right.
not. But anyway,
right.
Go ahead.
I'm not talking about what the industry does.
Okay.
I'm talking about what we do as a people.
Right. So you're saying he shouldn't have picked up those people to be dancers with him?
No. I'm not talking about the dancers. If you kind of do a little more digging, it wasn't just the dancers he took with him. He took people from the neighborhood with him. And I'm just using him as an example.
Okay.
Sometimes we want to take everybody with us. Everybody's not meant to go.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know the story of him, so I need to stand down.
So I'm just saying that sometimes we want to help everybody. Sometimes you can't help. You can help, yes. But it's that saying, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Sometimes we can help people, but we can help them to our detriment sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when the man comes, I'm thinking so he can get some cans. I get a whole bunch of money. No, you need to. What is your skill? What can you do? And let's create that for you, and so that you are not in a position that you have to go to door to get some damn cans. And so, and so in that particular time, and I see you, Ebony, in that in that period of time when all the rappers and all of them were coming up, none of them had been trained to handle money. They didn't know how to handle money, and so they got screwed. Now you don't hear about that now. You do not hear about that now. But we had to see what was necessary. But in that whole life of that, there's a science to getting rich and staying rich. There are protocols, there are principles, there are not only in the budgeting, but also in your soul and your spirit and your relationship with God, your relationship with people, and how to empower people without having to give up all that you have. You know, if you had to pay the taxes and stuff, they didn't know nothing about that. You know, all of that, or chose not to do that because they weren't used to having a lot of money. And so that same mentality, now I'm scared to pay this because I'm used to this amount of money being in my bank. And if I give it out to pay this, then it's going to go down. And I'm scared of poverty because I lived in poverty. So then you live in that type of life.
Right.
Ebony?
I was just so pissed off what people were saying, for Mama had to try to get some clarity.
It's hard to hear you. It's muffled. You're muffled.
I'm muffled. Okay. Let me try to take this off of my Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. That's better. Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna try to I'm piggybacking off of what Bridget said too. Yeah, I squeezed it, Mama Head, because I'm piggybacking off of what Bridget said to help Mama Head. So I was awarded a big grant for my youth event, and I used my grant for my people, for the community. Whatever some people asked me for, I gave it to them. When it was time to support me, my youth event didn't go as grand as I wrote the grant for, because I used the grant to pay for the support, to pay for the people to volunteer, pay their dues, and then it wasn't the same reciprocated energy when it was time to show up for the event. As well as that was, I looked at it as a reflection on myself, as poor management for myself, because I didn't teach the people what to do. And I just told them my expectations and trusted, since they've been with me for the last 7 years, they knew what to do. And it was a learning experience to learn what Bridget just pretty much said, that you can give the people what they want, but if they're not ready, or if they're not prepared to use it for what it's supposed to be used for, it can go astray.
So that was a knowledge that you didn't have.
And that was the knowledge I didn't have.
You didn't have the knowledge of how to teach them, and what, just setting it up, to set it up right. Yeah. But again, there is a science to it. There's a science. That's what we want to find out. What is the science to getting rich?
Yeah, Baba was telling me
to have the mindset for it. If you don't have the mindset for it, if you still have poverty and a lack mentality, no matter, you can be told the science, you can be led to the science, you can be spoon-fed the science, you can have the IV of the science put in. But if you don't have the right mindset to receive that, and to have an abundant mindset, and to believe that there's nothing impossible, and that you were created for abundance. You are created to receive. We serve a God who's an abundant God. he didn't create us to live in lack. That's a choice we made.
That's human.
So unless you have the mindset for, I'm open to receive all that is available. If you don't have that mindset, you're not going to receive the science of it. But if you have that mindset, you will eat that science up like whatever your favorite dessert is. And it's like Queen said, it's a science. And we need to learn the science of it.
Right. I know with teaching math, Peru was saying that some math teachers, you know, they teach math, but they don't teach the language that goes with it. And so I told him, I said, wow, I probably had teachers that really didn't want to, you know, there was a time when a teacher taught just the subject. But when things changed and they had to put everything all in one class. So imagine a teacher that's teaching math that doesn't like math. It's going to be different than a person that's passionate about teaching math. He said there's a language that goes with it. It's more than just the concrete. There's theory as well. You know what I mean? So if he was saying, if you don't get that, because a young man that I grew up with on the block, he was teaching math, and I sat in his class, and I was like, damn, if I would have been in your class, if I would have had a teacher with your passion, I might have embraced math a little bit better. His mother was a numbers lady on the block, his grandmother. Dang, I gotta pick the right. You know, sometimes you can't pick your teachers, but doggone, you know the difference. You know what I mean? It's really something.
That reminds me, I had a math teacher once, and it's so simple, but she was like, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. We talking about geometry.
Yeah.
It's real simple, but it's so useful in life. And when you can think about that in a life area, and then also mathematically, it's different. It's the language you were speaking of. So that goes back into like this abundance concept of like actually walking this wealth consciousness, as Reverend Omani talks about, or this abundance mindset. All of that, it's really like you have to live in that. If you don't have that there, you're not thinking that way, you're gonna lose it. It's not gonna make sense to you at all. So yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to read what the topics are. I'm taking on being a student and learning everything that I need to learn under Reverend Omani and teaching abundance, because I know that I am, number one, let's start here. My husband and I were kings and queens in prior lives. So I don't know why I chose to come here and live this life. And I've had a wonderful life, okay? But my mind in what I need and the things that I want to do is not in this list. It's not. It's a struggle right now. It's and like this woman, another prophet. She said, girl, I see money all around you. I see you writing big checks constantly. I see money all around you. What's wrong? What? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever my process is, whatever the walk I have to walk, I'm walking it. And but I know that it's now time. It is now. It is now time. And so in the midst of this, Elizabeth, the information is coming. I'm able to see the effects and so on and so forth. And I'm ready to really take this on and rid anything that is not part of the science of getting rich, because it's just a science. There's 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 minus 1 equals 0. You know, it's just that. So all this other stuff that I'm dealing with in body and soul, I must deal with that, and finances. Because let me just say this, when we talked about information coming to us and stuff, Jacqueline brought a program on how to handle your money. How many people have done that, and how many people are using it that have purchased it? How many people have gotten the trust or even called the brother about trust that is going to teach us how to understand it, not just give you a trust, but actually walk you through it. So if you don't have one already, but to take advantage of this information and learning how to do it.
Resources.
Yeah. Right. So there you still are left with your choice in whether you do it or not.
Can I say something now?
Yes, you got your clothes on, yes.
Now that tape you can take off. Oh, that's what I want to say. That book, Science of Getting Rich, I read that book about 20, 30 times. Right? Because the question you're left with is, well, what is the science of getting rich?
Yeah.
When you read that book, he never tells you what the freaking science is.
Science is. It's just the issues, right?
30 times trying to go, what's the science? Because I've been in the conversation for wealth consciousness, right? And I kept going, well, what's the science? What? Okay, maybe I missed it. Let me read it again. Because it's a really, let me read it again. Zip. And okay, so what he tells you is you have to think a certain way. What the fuck is a certain way? So remember yesterday in what we were reading yesterday?
Yeah.
We talked about life is a paradox, right? And the science of getting rich, with how he talks about it, it's a paradox. Like you got, and what you got to do is do the thinking to see what the paradox is. It's the thinking process, right? So this whole conversation is because even when you go the mindset, okay, just tell me the mindset. I can do that. Like Bridget was saying, it's a mindset. Okay, what's the mindset? Tell me that. Okay, got to know the okay. Say science one more time. I'm gonna scream. Just tell me what the science is, so I can start.
Just give me the 1, 2, 3
calculations, right? So that's the part I want to say about that. But in this conversation, you guys have pointed to a lot of things that are it. When you're talking about giving, well, Black women, number one, they got to give up giving till they drop. The Course of Miracles says giving and receiving are the same. Just giving, and you can't give from an empty cup. Right? Alana Van Zant says you don't give unless you in the overflow. We give it and we in the undercurrent. What the hell? You can't give what you ain't got, right? Okay, to give to people who not in the consciousness is unlawful because, like Bridget was saying, we all rich. So why should I show you how to you? Hell, I'm in the point now. Google it. The hell. There's no need to be walking around like that unless you think that's all you deserve, and then you got to do the work to come out of that. I can't bring you out of that. You got to bring yourself out of that. I can't bring you out of Black thinking. It's also, you guys talked about, how many lottery winners have you saw that got all that money, millions and millions of dollars, and they're broke now? Google it. See how many of them it is. They got the money, but they lost the money. How many artists, musical artists have you seen? Got the money, lost the money. Sports. People who play sports, football, basketball, got the money, lost the money. Baseball, broke. They all broke, made millions and millions, right? And so really, what is it? It really is a mind. It's a conscious. If you have not calibrated yourself to a higher level of consciousness, you're going to lose the money because the same thinking consciousness that you had before you got the money, if you don't change your consciousness, you're going to keep that consciousness and you go calibrate back to broke. Right? And so really does come down to you're only going to have the money that you, this is the question. You're only going to have the money that you're a vibrational match for.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All vibration,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody, just look at how much money you've ever made at one time. Like you had a job, you made 50,000. You had a job, you had a business, you made 90,000 that year, 100,000. You're only a vibrational match for that.
Mhm.
No more. So then you're gonna have to do something and do some work to break past your what you're a vibrational match for. And I remember once I was having this conversation out loud, and I was waiting for somebody to come on the phone, and the guy just listened to me talk. And he said, I heard what you said, but I want you to know something. If the most you ever made is $50,000, you can't go like I'm about to make $1 million. You can't go from 50 to million. You got to go, okay, I made 50,000. Okay, I'm gonna increase that 10%. I'm gonna make 65,000 next time. And then as you do increments up, you shift your vibration. Because guess what? If you say I'm going from 50 to a million, your mind go, what?
Mhm.
It's not, you don't even know what you're talking about. So not Esther Hicks. It is Esther Hicks. In one of her books, Asking It Is Given. She
Mm-hmm.
some of these exercises so you can actually see the truth about where we're at in the conversation. She has this one exercise where you get X amount of dollars every day. You know, it's just in the thought, because thoughts are things. So you start to think that. So you get X amount of dollars every day. You write yourself a check for that amount of money every day, but you got to spend that money every day, the full amount. If it's $3,000, say $5,000, you get $5,000 every day, but you got to spend that amount of money every day. I'll look to see what it is. But after I did that exercise for a week, the most I could get to was $300,000. That was my cap. Because when I got to 300,000, I was like, well, shoot, I got everything I want.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
In imaginary spending, I had got the house, I got the car, got the clothes, got to travel, got the food, got the this, got the that, got the that. Got 300,000. That's what my cap is. So I'm saying millions, but I'm not a match for a million. I'm a match for 300,000 in my mind. So we have to do the work because it's really in the mind. It's like the Bible. It's a psychological drama being played out in the mind. That's the science, Sheila. It's in the mind.
Mhm.
Don't never say that in that freaking book. You can read it 100 times. He never tells you how to think a certain. All he keeps saying over and over and over is you got to think a certain way. That's all he say.
And
Yeah.
is it catering to each individual has a different so is he like you're not getting the science from me because everybody's science is gonna be different because the needs are different? Is it individually?
The science is this. We are unlimited.
But that
Yeah.
sounds like
She was saying,
that was a
it
cross
to me.
current.
Yeah, because it says here the first principle in the science of getting rich, thought. Thought is the only power which can produce tangible riches from the formless substance.
Listen, since 2005, I have been working on this conversation. It's the conversation that took me out. I have read any book. Bring up any book about prosperity. I can tell you who it is. I done read them all.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Getting rich, I said Walter Waddle.
Yep, yep.
Wallace.
I have studied them, but it's a puzzle piece. It's puzzle. It's like putting a puzzle piece together. It's like having the right combination. If the combination is 10 to the right, 20 to the left, 30 to the right, if you miss one of the numbers, you ain't gonna get in.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. So it's the same thing with the science of getting rich. If you don't know the right combo, you cannot take a corner piece of the puzzle and put it in the puzzle and it won't fit. Right. And so that's the work that's got to really be done. And if you really start to think about what that work is, it's some deep work and it takes you some time to sort yourself out.
Mhm.
Right. But this one I know for sure for myself, I'm very close. I'm very close. And how I know I'm close because of what's happening. How I know what's going on in the inside of me about wealth consciousness is by what's showing up on the outside. That's how you know. If you want to know where you are about money on the inside, because it's the law. So is above, so is below. So is within, so is without. So if you want to know where you are in the conversation about money, look on the outside of you and what's your conversation about money. But the other big thing is this. You're only gonna have as much money as the five people you hang out with the most. You're only gonna have that much money. That's it. Tony Robbins and Bill Proctor, they doing the same thing, same kind of business. Bill Proctor was like, how come he making way more money than me and we talking about the same thing? So when he went and got a chance to talk to Tony Robinson, he asked Tony Robbins, how come, what's going on? Tony Robbins asked him, who you hanging out with? You're only going to have as much money as the person around, people around you make. That's the come. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna hang out with y'all, we got to change our conversation. Y'all know I started having this conversation this week. If I'm gonna hang out over here, then we got to change our conversation about money. But the deal is this: you can't have this conversation with everybody because everybody ain't ready for it. If you really go back and listen to this tape, listen to what everybody said about this conversation, and it'll tell you where we are in the conversation. That's to come out and say nothing. Cause I ain't in that. I'm not in that stage of the game. That's to come out and say nothing. But then y'all kept talking, and Lolly, as soon as Lolly said wealth consciousness, that's my word. I'm in now. I'm not in all the conversations. I'm in the conversation for wealth consciousness. Period. All that other stuff is that's people sorting it out. I done sorted it out already, and I'm on the march for something, and I'm very close, and I'm gonna keep on marching. So that's what I want to say. And I'm playing the game. And Spirit done had me, like, that's why I brought the conversation I had yesterday. It's like yesterday's conversation was the foundation conversation for if you want a lot of money. Because guess what? It ain't on the earthly realm. I don't care what your budget is. I don't care how you set up your trust, because you can set up your trust for your kids, but if your kids ain't inside of wealth consciousness, they gonna blow it all within a year. So if you don't train your kids up, it's the same thing. They'll be right back in poverty. So it's the same thing. So that's the part. You got to get all those conversations straight. So it's just like when you get that, giving and receiving are the same. And so number one, you guys got to, not you guys, because me too, I'm include myself when I say you guys, notice how you receive something. Somebody try to give you something, you'd be like, oh no, I'm good. Oh, but somebody needs something and you got to give something. You be giving. But you can't receive. And giving and receiving are the same. So if you giving, but you can't receive, you not really giving. You giving with conditions and stipulations. So, it's just like the kids around here. One day the kid was like, I got $1 of money, you could have it. I'm like, oh baby, keep your $1. Then I was like, no, baby, give me that $1. Right? Because what I can't receive. So the first place to start is start noticing how you receive some. Oh, you look so nice. Oh, you mean this whole thing? That's where we go. This whole thing, So that's what I gotta say about that. And I could talk a lot about it because that's the game I'm playing totally and unconditionally.
Thank you.
I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, go ahead, Mama.
I just wanted to say a real quickie. When my friends' babies would have, I guess, their first birthday or whatever, I would always go get them the glass piggy bank. I didn't think about that until Reverend Omani was talking about, she said the mindset, and I was like, wow, I'll start them off with a $10 roll of quarters and a piggy bank. So a gift that, they can learn to save, so.
Even I'm gonna tell you something about that from my reading. This is what I get. So if you think you got to save, and you do have to save money, but if the mindset and saving the money is I'm gonna save the money just in case something happens, that's why you save the money just in case something happens. I'm saving the money for an emergency. That's just what's gonna happen. You're gonna have an emergency.
Well, when I gave, it was to give the babies a piggy bank. I didn't put no condition on the piggy bank though. I said that in error. Okay, never mind.
Listen,
okay.
Mama Head. Yeah. I'm just pointing to I'm not saying anything about what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm not saying anything about what you're saying. I'm pointing to the thinking that goes into why we have to save money.
Gotcha.
If you're saying, because we don't get that our words create our world, soon as you speak it, you're going to walk into it. I'm saving in case of an emergency. The universe say, okay, we have to give her an emergency, and you're going to have to use that money. How many of you have saved money for emergency, and then an emergency came up and you had to use it?
Like insurance. What about insurance?
Same thing. Insurance is the biggest racket in town. Because guess what? How I know? I went and sat in insurance class and took the test. It's a racket. It's what white people made up to make money.
It's your investment in their company. Hello.
Yeah, but and if you use it correctly, you'll make money. But it's such a racket. It's such a game. It's such a game. You know what I mean? It's such a game, and you can make money doing it. But and guess what? I did all that work to do insurance, and I couldn't pull a trigger. So I couldn't pull a trigger for nothing. Got certified with all the companies. Couldn't pull the trigger. When I started really praying about it, the Holy Spirit was like, I didn't tell you to make insurance the centerpiece of your life. Centerpiece of your life is your ministry. Now, anything you want to do outside of your ministry, well, hell, if you really start doing ministry, that's a 24/7 job. Well, so
Not
it's
on
like
Sunday.
okay, so it's like no, that could not be the centerpiece. So I got together. I had a crew. Then we would brainstorm. We had a mastermind group brainstorm. Okay, let me go back and I got to re-brainstorm. Okay, what is I need to be doing? So I wrote everything down. Well, guess what? It came right back to I need to. What can I do right now to start moving? Oh, I could do a circle because that's what I had been doing up until that point, doing circles. Okay, well, let me do a circle. All the ladies, it was 6 of us sitting at the table. All the ladies was like, okay, I'll do the circle with you. I'll do the circle with you. I left the place with a circle in place. And so I've been circling up ever since because that's the resource. So look at the thing that you're doing over and over and over and over again. That's your main resource. That's your ministry. Like Lolly, them kids is her ministry. Sheila, that hair and that hair business and doing projects in the community, that's her ministry. Bridget, making things beautiful and having fabulous events that people can enjoy themselves and feel like they're inside the high life, that's a ministry. Everything that you do, Mama Head, definitely, dancing is your ministry. The thing that you're doing and that you have the passion for and that you love to do, that's your ministry. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Well, I thank you everybody for your comments and stuff. Because I just wanted us to have put some thought out there. Because I am definitely not the one to teach this. I am learning, but I did want to get a conversation going. And I think almost everybody here does come on Thursdays. So if it's possible, that's what the conversation is about. Wealth consciousness. And we can just see where we are and our thought processes. And, like you said, having a wealth consciousness, there is a science to it. It starts with wealth consciousness.
Yep. But you know what? When you really start to really dive into it, the first place you got to really look is growing up. What was your family's conversation about money? If you start from there, because you got to clear that out, because that's what the prevailing energy you have right now, whatever your conversation was around money growing up. You either got your mama's conversation about money or your daddy's conversation about money. You have to get that distinguished and then create your own conversation, who I'm going to be about the money. So I'm done talking now for real.
Okay, so let's give ourselves a big hug. This is Friday, and it's time to enjoy the weekend and create whatever you're going to create for the weekend. And I love you. I love the world. Hold it up. And then sprinkle up.
We're going to sprinkle for rotator cuffs. Rotator cuff surgery.
All right. See you all Sunday.
Queen Aduni, can I call you after this? I got a couple of questions about Sunday.
Yes, dear. Yeah.
Okay.
Is everybody gonna be there Sunday? But we'll see you. I did put in there that bring a dish because we'll be there, you know. So we're gonna have a potluck brunch, a pot blessing brunch. So we can not have to run out and get some food because whatever. And if you know someone who does makeup and wants to you know, be there and get some photos for their portfolio, then you know, have them call me or have them show up. Mm-hmm.
Marsha.
All right. Okay. If it, see ya.
Okay, bye.
Love y'all.
Talk to you later. Love you too.
Mhm.